Hi everyone, it's Dnoorian here, and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to change a cap tube on your prep cooler. So today we are working on this Silver King 5-foot prep cooler. I got this door to myself. It's one of my customers. He gave me the key to work on this cooler overnight. So I just thought, why not film it and maybe you guys could learn something from it. So here's the prep cooler. I've already started doing the replacement. So far, I've took out the old cap tube and I placed the new one. As you can see, this is the new one through the hole of the cabinet to the back where the compressor is. Everything is loose. I'll show you the back of it. Here's the back, and here's the other end of the cap tube. So, first thing after I've done that, so after I have taken out the old cap tube, the first thing I'm going to do is cut the suction line and braze a Evaporator valve to it. As you can see, there's a Evaporator valve right there. So the reason for this is that I'm going to blow nitrogen through it just before I braze the new one, just so I can get some nitrogen through the evaporator, so I'm positive it is dry before I braze the new one in. So I've already hooked up my gauge to everything. Gonna crack open the nitrogen. Got some pressure going through the evaporator. See my high side? About 25 psi. That should be good. And now we can start brazing the cap tube into the evaporator. This is very tricky. As for when you're brazing, you might actually plug up the cap tube, that hole over there. This hole, I don't know if you can see it in the video, but let me see if I get a good shot. That hole. So you really want to be careful you do not clog up that hole. And it's going to go in there right there. There it goes. I usually put about 5 inches in. That should be good. So next thing is to braze it. Gonna try to braze it so you guys can see. Gonna film it. First I want to see if it's in about 5 inches. 3 to 5 inches is what I like to do. There you guys go. that's done, we can now braze the other side. So now that we have brazed the evaporator side of the cap tube, now we come to the compressor side. As you can see, I already got the filter dryer in place, it's a brand new one, and this is the other end of our cap tube. Before I put the cap tube into the filter dryer and braze it, what I'm going to do is one more nitrogen pressure test. What I'm going to do is pressurize the evaporator and the cap tube this time and make sure that the cap tube and evaporator is fully dry. So what I'm going to do is crack it open a bit. So now we can go ahead and braze the cap tube into the filter dryer, making sure that the arrow is facing the appropriate direction and the other end of the filter dryer into the condenser. We want the arrow pointing towards the cap tube, aka direction of flow of the refrigerant. So we are now done with all our brazing, and now it's time for pressure testing and seeing if there are any leaks. So here's my nitrogen bottle. Got my high side hooked up. Close all the valves. Crack the nitrogen open. Crack that open a bit. Crack this one open. I like to pressure test my refrigeration systems at 200 psi. So we'll go to 200. Don't know if you can see it. The more the better. 225 is perfect actually. I'll do 225. So what do we got? We got around 230, 225. Don't worry if it goes down a little bit, as the pressures are just stabilizing inside the system. Wait a couple minutes. Perfect. Turn all the valves off. Great, now we can get started. First, I like to start with my suction line right here. No leak there. Next one we'll do is our cap tube to our filter dryer. No leak there. Then we'll do our cap tube, our filter dryer to our condenser. No bubbles there. This is a tricky one. The access port to our high side. As you can see, there's bubbles there. Tighten that a bit. Now we'll check it out. Still leaking. Perfect. No bubbles. Remember, if you're not sure, it never hurts to double check. Okay, so we're good to go on this side. We're gonna check the evaporator side now. Double check our pressure. Still at, we'll add 230, I'd say. Perfect. This one will be hard to see. I don't know if you guys can see it. But we're going to check our cap tube to our evaporator now. Hold on a sec. I'm going to turn on my flash. Okay. Let's see this one. It never hurts to check around the other coils surrounding it. As for when you're brazing these evaporators, they're very flimsy and you tend to make some small holes on some other pipes. Luckily for me, no holes. Perfect. I'm gonna tidy this up a bit before I put the cover back on. Great, so I'm just going to wait about 10-15 minutes and see if my pressures hold, and then I'll start my vacuum. So my pressure held, and now I'm going to start vacuuming. I got my test stove micron gauge hooked up so I can see how many microns I can get this down to. Ideally, I'm aiming for 500, but realistically I'm probably gonna get it down to around 1,000 microns. We'll see though. So I turn on my vacuum gauge, crack open my low side, all the way open. My high side all the way open too. I usually like to wait a bit before I turn on my micron gauge. For 10-15 seconds. Turn it on now. And there you go. Now it's just a waiting game. Should take about half an hour, I'd say, before it gets below 1,000. Nothing like vacuuming at 2 in the morning. Got the whole restaurant to myself. Check it out now, it's at 2,600. 500 now. So I'm just gonna wait until it falls to under say 1,000. Okay, here we are after 1 hour of vacuuming. We are just shy of the 1,000 micron mark. We're at 10. Any second now should dip below 1,000. And then what I'm going to do is close off all the valves and see if it rises a fair amount. $999,997. Perfect. Now is a good time to stop. So what I'm going to do is close off both my valves, my hand valve on my gauges. Don't worry if the micron rise up a bit. I'm turn off my vacuum pump. Then I'm just going to look at the micron gauge. Now, my rule is that I wait 10 to 15 seconds for it to stabilize. And then after that, I look at the microns very carefully. Now if it goes up by 10 microns, it's no big deal. If it goes over, so let's say 1,800 microns or over 2,000 microns at most, then you better vacuum for a longer time or even check for leaks. Usually I just vacuum a bit longer and you should be good to go. So the microns keep rising up a bit. 1540 now. Sooner or later it should be steady and stay at a certain number. But this system looks perfect. This is a very old system, so it's going to be very, very, very hard to keep it at 1,000 microns. So for this system, this should be perfect. Occasionally it goes up and down at times. Nothing to worry about. So yeah, like I said, 2,000 microns. Shouldn't go over 2,000 microns. If it does, vacuum for a longer time. I'll wait about 30 more seconds with you guys, but this system should hold less than 2,000 microns. Yeah, that's good. Perfect. Okay, time to start. Charge the system with some refrigerant. Okay, so now it's time for some 404 action. Time to charge the system with some refrigerant. I've got my tank, my scale, my gauges. My thermometer is inside the cabinet. Now all I have to do is find out how much exactly refrigerant the system needs. This is a cap tube system, so it is very critical that you put the manufacturer amount of refrigerant. So, in order to find out, you just look at the nameplate. And I don't know if you guys can see where it says refrigerant, it says 15.75. So that is exactly how much I'm going to put in. So what I'm going to do is, first thing, is turn on my scale. £0, perfect. I'm going to crack open my liquid. Purge my lines. I could open this one because I shut it off the hose from there, so I could turn on my low side. Open that, that's open. Perfect. At least at 0.75, that's okay, you can just leave that in. Now, first thing, I'm gonna open up my high side. Close it off. Then open this. And then wait until it's at 15.75. So 1 pound. That's about the same. 1 pound of refrigerant is 16 ounces, and at 0.5 is nothing really. So there you go. Now I'm going to start out the system. Okay folks, we are back here. It's been, the cooler has been running for about half an hour. It's at 8 degrees already. And our pressures are at 33 low side. High side we're at 255. Everything is good. Suction line is crossing up. Just what I like to see. Temperature is getting less and less. That's good. Just gonna wait it out until the cooler cuts out the compressor, and then we'll go from there. And there you go folks, 2.8 degrees Celsius. The compressor has stopped due to the thermostat. All done. Just gonna put this back in place and then get ready for my next service call in about 4 hours.